Alright, I'm gonna say it one more time, and then I'm gonna reference this video every time somebody says this to me. School, education is indoctrination. Stop telling me to go to school. Stop saying, didn't you pass middle school? Didn't you pass? The point is that schools and everywhere, education is teaching a narrative that they want you to believe to cover the history of the earth and the truth. They are covering it by teaching you a false narrative. School, education is indoctrination. Say it with me. Education is indoctrination. Stop telling me to go to school. Do you watch my videos? Do you watch my lives? That's the point. That is the point. Schools are teaching a lie. Schools are teaching a lie. What does it have to do with anything? What point are you trying to make? That go to school and memorize some bullshit narrative that they gave you, and then the more I memorize what they tell me, the smarter I am? Is that your definition of intelligence?
Facts.
Do you understand that schools are teaching pseudoscience as real science? Pseudoscience is literally fake science. It's accepting these beliefs that don't fit the description of science, the definition of science whatsoever, and they tell you that it's science. So then you come on my page and you're like, don't you know science? Yes, I do know science. Science is to observe and to study and to experiment and repeat in order to deem true, and pseudoscience doesn't do that. The globe doesn't do that. All of these things doesn't do that. You're a hypocrite. Why is it so hard for you to believe that the government writes a narrative and teaches it in schools? Why is it so hard for you to believe? It's totally believable. It's totally what they do. What do you think television is? Tell a lie, television. What do you think that they're doing? Do you think they're teaching you the truth so they make all this money on the truth? Or do you think they're teaching you a narrative that they wrote to make money and to benefit and to control the masses? Do you think the government doesn't lie and control? Do you? Is your advice to children, don't ever critically think and don't...
The government's good, right? I mean, we're taught the government's good. They teach us that in school, to trust the government and abide by the government. So it can't be wrong, right? I mean, so there's no problem with the government. I mean, we see how wonderful the world is everywhere, right? So yeah, I mean, what's she talking about?
Masses. Do you think the government doesn't lie and control? Do you?
No.
Is your advice to children, don't ever critically think and don't ever ask any questions and don't question your reality. Do what you're told and listen to authority, because authority is always right and you're wrong, and you need to memorize everything they say and everything they say is true. Is that your advice to children? Because that's what you tell me to do.
Yeah. I've had people not say that exact wording, but the very first video I ever did, it was, I took it down because I think YouTube was punishing me for it, because it was not politically correct to say the stuff I was talking about in there. If you guys have been here for that long, then you remember what it was about against a certain group of people. But anyway, the first comment that I ever got, I think, on that video, this was over 2 years ago, because I'm giving my thoughts about something, and it had nothing to do with the school system. It somewhat did, but anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But the first comment was, what's your level of education? And like she was saying earlier, it's like, dude, school is all about being taught a narrative. I never did good in school. I never had any interest in school. I absolutely despised it. And I've told you guys this before. It's not because I thought there was some crazy agenda going on. It's not because I was, hip to the truth and everything like that. That wasn't it. All right, I'm not going to get on here and pretend that. But it never made sense to me to have to learn this BS that they are teaching. Now, did I know it was BS at the time? Did I question it? No, I did not. I'm just a lazy kid, a lazy teenager that just didn't want to do it, that wanted to watch TV, play basketball, play video games, whatever. I had no use for the stuff they were teaching. Okay? You need to know how to write, add, multiply, subtract, do all that stuff, read, everything. You need to know how to do that. After that, why do I need to know history, which for one, now I know it's a lie, a lot of it, all of it, whatever, but why do I need to know that? Unless I'm going to be a professor and go into that field or something like that, I don't need to know this stuff. But anyway, the point is, I never connected to school, and now I realize that it was a reason for it. It was a bigger reason, a higher purpose. He was protecting me from this BS narrative. being taught and indoctrinated into everybody, into all kids. And that's the point. You know, look at who created the school system. It was John D. Rockefeller, who's one of the elites, who's one of the leading, you know, powerful 13 families, the bloodlines and everything, who control this world and who are demonic as anything, that have a hold over this world and have for hundreds, thousands of years. So, I mean, that's the point. But anyway, the thing is, when people talk about flat earth or round earth or whatever, the people that laugh at the people that think it's flat earth, what is the first thing out of their mouth? Well, I was taught that it was a globe, you know. These people, I mean, I've always believed it was round because, well, that's what I was taught. That's the point. Of course, they teach you that and a lot of other things. The reason you think something is because you were taught that, then that's the problem right there. You're supposed to think for yourself, not just believe something just because that's what you were taught or just because that's what your parents told you or that's what your parents did. I mean, that applies to racist people. Those idiots. Well, my daddy was racist. He was in the Klan. He was, you know, so I was grown up that way. Okay, you're 50, moron. So get over it. Think for yourself. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is a great video. We're going to keep watching. It's not quite over yet, but I thought this was interesting. I wanted to bring this to the channel. I had a lot of thoughts on this, but let me know your thoughts about this. Let's go.
Guess what? You can call me crazy all day long. I'd rather be crazy than an actual conforming, indoctrinated sheep. Okay, I'd rather be crazy. So call me crazy. That's fine. I don't care. I actually think you're crazy for believing this absolute bullshit.
Yes.
And understand that the only reason why anyone believes the globe, and the only reason we believe these things we were taught in school, the only reason we believe this and we defend it is because we were told. It's because we were told. We have no evidence, we have no proof. It's because it's what we were told.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really just not question anything ever and just suck up everything that they tell you? Or like, yeah, just repeat what they say? Are you kidding me? Don't you think there's a reason why there's things that are filtered out and that there's things that are totally shoved in your face all day long? And congratulations and kudos to you that the only reason that this huge lie is still going on and will always go on is because you're defending it.
Yep.
And by the way, denying reality does not change reality.
Yo, I'm going to let that play. All right, look at her thing here. It has a different thing. I don't know why, but anyway, she's on TikTok, of course. Go follow her. There's her page right there. Type that in. Type this in. Whatever. Maybe you can't see that, but anyway, I'll link both down below if you want to go follow her. Obviously, do so. But anyway, yeah, great video. Shout out to her. You know, it's crazy. I see. You know, I watch a lot of videos on like how the government lies about everything, about, you know, UFO cover-up, stuff like that, demonic stuff going on in our government. We see how the world is moving. We see how the elites control everything. I'm all into all that kind of stuff. I wasn't really awake to a lot of stuff before 2020. I always knew the government was bad. I didn't say they were evil. I thought they were just greedy, money hungry, corrupt, you know, people that were just taking our money, which I always thought that was weird, that we have to pay taxes, that we have to pay all this stuff to them and everything. It just never sat right with me at all. That's just common sense, I think. But you have people that defend that. You have people that defend the government, that defend paying taxes, that defend the government coming in and taking part of your wages for money that you earned, which are already being paid way less than you should be at a 9-to-5 horrible, miserable job. All that kind of stuff. And then you have people defend them taking a percentage of that. And then when you're supposed to get it back, supposedly, when you do taxes, you don't get everything they took, for one. And then when you're supposed to get Social Security, like what is it, 65 and up or whatever, you get Social Security. Wow. Okay. You might die before you even get that, so you're never going to see that again. That's supposed to be like that. That has to do with you know, how much money you've paid taxes for it, how much taxes you've paid over your course of years of working, of 50, 60, 40 years of work, whatever, and then they tax that, what you're supposed to be getting back, which you've already been taxed for that. But you have people defending these fools. But, 2020 opened me up to a lot of stuff. I saw how people were moving. I saw how gullible the world was due to a certain thing that happened, the most popular thing that happened in 2020. Obviously, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know my feelings on that. If you watch a lot of my videos, I've mentioned it here and there throughout the 2+ years I've been on. But anyway, that showed me a lot for celebrities, for just people in general, how much they're puppets. It made me lose a lot of respect for a lot of people that I, held in pretty high regard, athletes, actors, actresses, celebrities in general, whatever, by their defense of the BS that was going on. And again, what was people's reasoning for getting that jab, for wearing something over their face? What was the reason? Because they were told to. Because they were told to. Because the news told them to. Because Fauci told them to. Because the doctors told them to. Because when people hear something from a doctor, they think that's gospel from up above. I don't know what it is, but look at how the doctors were taught. And I'm not saying all doctors are evil. Are some of them part of the problem? Absolutely. I don't think all doctors are evil or anything. I think there's some that actually want to help, and that's why they get in the field. And they take the courses, and they think that's fact because that's what they're taught, once again. But look at who started the system of the medical establishment. It again goes back to Rockefeller, does it not? He's the one that started the medical establishment in the late 1800s, early 1900s, whatever, and it's go in the history of the medicines and how everything came about and all that stuff. It's not about healing anybody. It's about continuing to make money, keeping people sick, to continuing to make money off of them. A cured patient is a lost customer. And shout out to Perky on YouTube for that. I didn't, that's her saying, great saying. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this. I could go on and on. I got a lot more I would like to say, but we're not going to make it too long of a video. It's probably already way too long. But anyway, go to her page, like I say, and great video from her. We're almost 15 minutes in. That's pretty long for a 3-minute video, but hopefully you guys listen to me ramble. If not, hey, if this turns you off, it is what it is. I have nothing against you if you were in favor of all that stuff. I don't get it. That 2020 really showed me how gullible people were, and showed me how people will just do whatever they're told without question. They will just blindly follow what the majority is doing and what they're told. They have no mind for themselves. I can't relate to that. I've always been a different type of thinker than everybody else. I've never gone along with what the world is thinking or saying, to be honest with you. So anyway, all right, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, be careful. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Or you think I'm gonna get out of this video before you think I'm gonna let this video go? You think I'm gonna jump out of this video before I comment on how fine this girl is? You must not have been here for a long time then. You must not know how the channel works. Yo, look at this girl. She is fine as okay, so yeah, no, I ain't getting out of here without saying that. So you thought you caught me. You thought you caught me that I was gonna be like these other reactors, ain't gonna comment on a good looking woman. No. Hey, she's brilliant, she's smart, facts. But yo, she's fine as hell too. Okay, all right. So anyway, now I can go. Now I'm gone. So love you guys. Stay safe. Be careful. I'm out.